Everybody, Andrew Guy here with AndrewGuySpeaks.com, empowering you to create your greatest impact where you live, where you work, and where you play. It's another amazing morning, and I am on the road again. I'm telling you, I am so excited, but I think what I have to tell you is more exciting than what I'm going to be doing right now, okay? All right. We're going to continue our series when we're talking about how to create your greatest impact at home. And so that's what I want to talk to you about. Yeah, the sun is up. I'm on the highway and I'm rolling down there. So you might see some bright spots like now. That's just the sun saying good morning to me, all right? So if you're having difficulty seeing me, let's just focus on the hearing instead of what you're seeing, all right? Hope you're having a fantastic morning, because I am too, and I'm rolling down the highway. All is well, well is all, and I am moving. So let's talk about how to create this great impact at home. Before I say it, I want to start off with this quote. As a matter of fact, there's two of them that I want to give you. Life is not short. Life is not short. It's how you live it that shortens it. Life is not short. It's how you live it that shortens it. All right? A lot of people tend to focus on the wrong things. And because of that, they miss out on life. Because of that, they either shorten their lifespan or increase the difficulties that they experience. But in order for you to have great impact at home, you have to realize what time it is. And so I'm going to ask you, do you know what time it is? The great King Solomon said, there's a time for everything under the sun. Get it? The sun? Sun is coming out in the morning. Yes, that's right. Do you know what time it is? I think that's one of the greatest frustration of all mankind. We don't know what time it is. We don't know when we should be doing something. We don't know when we should not be doing something. It's like when you think of time, I want you to think of seasons. When you think of time, I want you to think of seasons. There's certain things that has to be done at a certain time. There's certain things, certain activities that must be done in a particular season. Let's take the farmer, for example. The farmer knows exactly when to sow the grain. Beautiful sunshine. The farmer knows when to go and harvest. The farmer knows, or should I say the farmer knows all of this. Okay? But a lot of times in our life, we really don't know what time it is. Because we're talking about creating your greatest impact, remember I said impact is not about fame. Impact is refusing to leave the world the same way when you got here. So you came into the world, everything was a mess, a lot of people would say. And if you leave it a mess, that means you didn't do what you're supposed to do. That makes sense? All right. So impact is coming into the world and refusing to leave it the way you saw it when you came. If you're looking for a definition, because most people want a definition, that's the definition of impact. That's what it means right there. Okay? So, how do you create impact at home? Number one, you know what time it is. Let's say, for example, you're a parent, and I'm speaking to dads right now. You have to understand that you are the father, and father doesn't mean that you're Lord over everything. Father doesn't mean that you're the bully. Father doesn't mean that oh, whatever you say goes. Father doesn't mean that you have the last word every time, all day, every day. No. Fatherhood is about protecting those that you have created. And I say created, right? Because let's say you have children. You created those children from your loins, and that automatically gives you the ownership and the right to protect them in your household. Fatherhood means provision, making provision or providing for those that are in your care. Fatherhood, it means safety. Yes, your job is to protect, but when you are protecting, then safety is experienced whenever you create protective environment that is conducive to make those that are in your care feel safe. So safety is not for the provider. Safety is for the recipient. Safety is for those who are in your home that feel safe because you create that environment to make them feel safe. All right? That's fatherhood. Fatherhood sets the atmosphere. I said that before. Fathers set the atmosphere, but it is maintained by the mother. So you want to be thinking, what kind of atmosphere are you setting in your home? A great speaker, Dr. Miles Monroe from Nassau, Bahamas, once said, whatever you give the woman, they will multiply it and then give it back to you. He said that if you give the woman a sperm, she'll multiply it and give you a baby. He said that if you give the woman groceries, she'll multiply it and give you a meal. If you give her stress, she'll multiply it and, well, I guess you don't want to be on the receiving end of that. The point I'm trying to get you to understand is that the Father basically creates, the Father gives, and those who are on the receiving end experience the joy, experience the environment that a father creates. So what am I saying to you? In order for you to create your greatest impact where you live, where you work, and where you play, you have to understand what time it is. You have to understand your role. You have to understand your responsibility. Now, when we talk about role is not the same thing as the position. Role is a function. Role is different from a position. Let's say, for example, the QB. Let's go into sports now because I'm going to break this down. If you're a guy that watches American football, you'll realize that there are many different positions on the field. The QB or the quarterback plays a different role. So he has a position, but what he does is distribute the ball. That's his function. So as a man in the home, you are the father, right? But your function and your role is to provide, to protect, and secure. That's what the role is, what you do. It's the function. The position now is the place. Does that make sense? The position is the place. It's not a title. It's the place. All right? Function is important in your home because if you don't understand what you're supposed to do, then you won't do what you're supposed to do. And those who are supposed to benefit from what you do will not experience it, will not receive it, and then they will go lacking. Impact, as I said, in your home is coming into the world and refusing to leave it the way it was when you came and you saw it. The same thing happens in your home. You want to create that impact that long after you're gone, your impact is felt, it is cherished, it is remembered, and it is often practiced because it has become a principle. Does it mean that you force people to do that? No. It means that you were so well engaged in your home that people want to replicate what you did because it had such a great impact. You have created what's called a principle that people can live by. Creating an impact in your home means that you understand what time it is. I mentioned that earlier to you, but a lot of people are not successful at home because they don't know what time it is. They mix up or they get confused with work and home life. At home, they are working. And when they're at work, they're thinking about home. And when they're at home, they're thinking about play. And when they're playing, they're thinking about work and home. And they're never anywhere. They're never in any one specific place. Zig Ziglar once said that we're always traveling because we're never settled. I want to encourage you to let you know that if you are home, be home. Yes, I'm guilty. There are times when I'm working on social media stuff and I'm sitting around the boys and my wife, and sometimes I may be posting something or somebody may text me. So what I'm saying to you is that I'm guilty of it. What you want to do is make sure that if you are texting, set your time for I'm going to be sending out this text. If you're posting, set a time when you're going to be doing your social media posting. If you're going to be talking on the phone to a friend, a family member, or an associate or a client, set a time, schedule that time, put up a sign on the door and say, listen, I'm doing this at this particular time. Help those in your home to understand what time it is. Because if you don't know what time it is, then you're going to be having what's called a melting pot, and everything that you're doing is going to merge together and get nothing done. I say this to say that. Never eat and work at the same time. What does that mean? Never eat and work at the same time. Because if you are eating, you'll never get the work done. And if you're working, you will never enjoy the food. Let me say it again. If you are eating, you'll never get the work done. And if you are working, you will never enjoy the food. So what am I saying to you? Make sure that if you're eating, you're eating. If you are working, you're working. Never do two at the same time. Never ever do both at the same time. Whatever you are doing, make sure you give full attention to that one thing. Never try to do two things at the same time, because no one will win. You will never enjoy the food if you're eating and working. Never. And you will never do a good job if you're working and eating. Always remember that. The same goes for if you are hanging with your family, you're having a good time, and the phone goes off and you decided to answer the phone. Leave the phone. Turn off the phone. Set this time for them so you can be there for them. Does that make sense? Set the time for them so you can be there for them. Don't split the two. And that's exactly one of the things that you can do if you want to create a greater impact at home for your family. Give them the time that they deserve, and you will get the respect that you are looking for. So, this is Andrew Guy with AndrewGuySpeaks.com, encouraging you, empowering you, inspiring you, motivating you so you can be transformed and be empowered to create your greatest impact where you live, where you work, and where you play. I want to encourage you to follow me on social media. I'm out there at YouTube at Andrew Guy Speaks, Twitter, Andrew Guy Speaks, Instagram, Andrew Guy Speaks, and you can like me on Facebook. That's Andrew E. Guy Speaks. Or you can just go over to my website at www.andrewguyspeaks.com. So remember, as you go through your day today, remember that impact is refusing to leave something the way it was when you first saw it. When you leave, something would have changed. And remember, if you're going there to make a change and an impact outside of your house without doing the same thing at home, then you have success backwards. And we're going to get into that in a minute. Take care, and I'll see you in the next module. Peace.